Today, whilst scooting through the interwebs, I discovered a theory. The theory that said that men chasing women, or heterosexual men here, chasing women is an ideology. Well, I'm Nathan Fletcher, the drunk philosopher, and I say bullshit. In an article by Clementine Ford, which could only be described as one of the most ridiculous things I've ever read, I know it's Clementine Ford, it's a bit of a low-hanging fruit here. She was trying to make the argument, or the case, if you will, that through men chasing women, heterosexual men chasing women once again, and seeking them out sexually, or perhaps through the male gaze, trying to find a mate, is an ideology. And we take it from the other way. Well, what about women who decide the sexual game? Well, she answered that too. She said, well, that's just biology though. You know, women controlling the sexual game and saying yes or no to a male is just a part of biology. We can just say, well, that's fair enough. But men chasing women, well, that's ideology. Come on, Clementine Ford. You're a dickhead. No. Now, I remember when I was young, we used to play this game called Kiss Chasey. Now, the teachers didn't prescribe us to play Kiss Chasey. The parents didn't prescribe us to play Kiss Chasey. We just naturally decided to play Kiss Chasey. Now, it was the boys chasing the girls for a kiss. Now, we can argue about whether or not that's sexist. That's fine. But the fact is that us guys organised that game with the girls. And later on in life, we didn't chase the girls out of ideology. We went for the women that we were attracted to, and we hoped to hell that they said, yeah, sure, we'll go out with you. Okay? It's actually really daunting for a guy, a lot of the cases, to say, well, I hope that girl that I've been, thinking about for the last 6 months will want to go out with me. Okay? It's not an easy thing to do. It's not ideology. It's biology. I, as a heterosexual male, choose to go and chase, for want of a better term, chase, or seek the attentions of the females I'm attracted to. And then it's up to the females to say, sure, that sounds like a great idea. Or say, bugger off, mate, not interested. The biggest problem I find, though, with Clem's arguments is that she doesn't take into consideration homosexual relationships. There you'll find that there are men who chase other men, and then hopefully those men will say yes. Okay, that's fine. And you'll find that in lesbian relationships that the more dominant, perhaps lesbian lady will go out and seek another lesbian lady and hope that she says, yes, I want to go out with you. This is the biggest problem with most of Clementine Ford and most people like her's argument. They do not take into consideration the sexual impulses of other sexual orientations, which completely and utterly debunk, just by the very nature of those relationships, her arguments. And there's a huge evolutionary function to this, of course, that you want to have children, okay, or you want to have a relationship that ends up maybe having children, then you want to seek out a mate who, you're attracted to, 2, is sexually compatible to you, and 3, is willing to have children with you. Well, that means you've got to go out and find those people, which means that you've got to seek them, right? You've got to go out and compete for them too, as well. And then hopefully they say yes. And that's regardless of sexual orientation. Obviously, having children part's not so much. That's a heterosexual thing, but it's once again born out of evolutionary function. We cannot help this behaviour. It's natural. And women can tell men to bugger off. But to call it ideology, Clementine Ford, is ludicrous. I am the drunk philosopher. My name is Nathan Fletcher. Subscribe to the channel. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Twitter. Continue the conversation, and I'll catch you later on. Uru.